All right, ladies, time for a heart to heart. If you have ever or do ever on a regular basis find yourself complaining about the man in your life or the men in your life or the lack thereof, then this applies to you. Because having been a female, yes, all of my life, I have been witness to this in groups of females, yes, all of my life, and it's always been rather astounding to me how much women love to complain about men. We love to complain about men. And I've also been a female who all of her life has been surrounded by men and boys because I grew up with brothers and I have sons and there have been lots of dudes around me. So I think I have a somewhat of a unique perspective in that regard. And I wanted to say to all of the women that it's time that we grow a pair. Now, this goes for single women and for married women and for everything in between. If you find yourself complaining about men, it is because they are different than we are. And they don't handle things the same way. And so we assume that they are selfish or self-centered because they actually take care of themselves and take time to do what they want to do. And we don't voice that we need to do the same thing. And we don't make it a priority. So we just go, oh, well, of course I am left at home with the kids while he's off golfing. Figures. I always have to do it all. Here's the thing I know about men. Men love to make women happy. I'm going to say that again. Men love to make women happy. And every man that I've known has pretty much said the same thing. And when they're not trying to make you happy, it's because they don't know how to make you happy because you are unhappy makeable. Yeah. You are unable to be made happy. They can't figure out how to make you happy. And so what do? They throw in the towel and they say, to hell with it. I'm going to go golf with the dudes. Or I'm just going to check out into, the TV or the computer, the beer or whatever. Because if they can't make you happy and you don't make them feel good about themselves for the efforts that they put forth, which are things that you probably take for granted, they're not going to keep trying. Because unlike women, men are sensible enough to stop banging their head against a wall over and over and over and over again. For the most part. I'm totally speaking in stereotypes. But I think we women, we sort of there's this complaining ethos that goes on. And so we like to keep banging our head against the wall because then we have something to complain about and commiserate about. And then we have a reason to not be happy. We have an excuse for our lack of happiness. It's all about them. It's all about him. If he could just be the man that I wanted him to become. Not be the man that he was when I married him, but the man that I thought he would become. The man that I thought he would surely change into. But did you express that? Did you express your expectations? No. And you're not perfect either. And he probably doesn't sit around and complain about it all the time with his friends. And he probably doesn't nag you all the time or give you crap about it all the time. I am not saying you're perfect. I am not saying that women suck. I'm just saying, give them a break. They don't think like you. If you want something, they expect to be asked. And generally, if they want something, they just do it or they ask you for it. And they don't say, well, he should know that that's what I want. Or he should know that. How could he not know that? Isn't that obvious? I said it 5 different ways, except for directly. So ladies. I'm mostly speaking to the women right now in partnerships. I think tomorrow I'm going to address all the single ladies. Put your hands up. Because I have a lot to say to you single ladies. And having been both, married and single and in the dating scene, I have a lot to say to all the women of the world. And you need to grow a pair of vocal cords. You need to voice your concerns in a way that he can handle it. Think about how you would feel if you were hearing that thing. Do you think he doesn't recognize it when you roll your eyes? Do that? Mutter under your breath? And do you think it doesn't affect your relationship when you go around complaining, even if he doesn't get wind of it ever, but you're just doing it with the other girlfriends? Does that help your relationship? What if you would just actually spend that complaining time, I don't know, writing him a sweet email or text or phone call, saying thank you so much for taking the trash out, even though he does it every single week of your life, but you don't really thank him because that's just his job, right? You are such a good husband. You are such an awesome man. Men live for this stuff, and we don't give it to them. What we give them is whatever, frustration, you're not enough, you're selfish, all these labels that we place upon them. Your unhappiness is your own business. It is your own responsibility. You've got to own it. You've got to become happy of your own accord and stop making him the one who is supposed to make you happy and then blaming him whenever you're not. Be the person that he adores because you're cheerful and warm and caring and loving and appreciative and grateful. Be the woman that he fell in love with. Because I bet you were all those things then. Oh yeah, but you don't know what he's done or how horrible it's been or how... It's not about that. Do you want to have a good relationship? Because if so, you are going to have to let go of your resentments. And we hold on to these ladies like, if I don't have my resentment, if I don't have my complaints, if I don't have all these reasons to be unhappy, then who am I? I fall apart. I don't know who I am. Then I'm suddenly this person who is responsible for her own happiness, but I could never be that because I don't know how to be happy on my own. That's what you have to figure out. And that is the question. So ladies, let's cut the men some slack. Today, my Grow Pair Challenge for you is to start thinking differently about the man in your life if you have a partner. Start thinking differently about this man and start writing down the things that he does for you on a regular basis. I want you to make as long of a list as you can of all of the things that he does for you or says to you or all the kindnesses, all of the things that some other woman looking in at your relationship would think was pretty fantastic if she knew. And then this week, that's all you're going to talk about when it comes to talking about your spouse or your partner. That's all that gets discussed. There's no complaining, there's no complaining, and there's no complaining. Also, there's no complaining. There's just praising. I am so lucky. I am so happy. Okay, you can act as if